Greetings and welcome to the energy of Virgo. This is a reading for Virgo by the order of the twin sun. And we shall look into primarily the effects of astrological composition when dealing with the high intelligence of Virgo. Okay. Mercury, which is your ruler, is where we shall begin. And it is still in the early month of June 2022 in retrograde in the energy of Taurus. Okay, it shifted into Gemini and it's now back in Taurus. Okay, what does this mean? It means that you have been a student of some sort of attunement. Usually Gemini is linked in esoteric or perhaps the deeper recesses of astrological knowledge. Gemini is related to priests. There's also Mercury is the messenger of the gods, meaning that messages can be had from intelligence or can be sought through intelligence into the realm of the gods and be brought back down into reality. Mercury is also related to Prometheus, and the idea that we can bring fire from the gods, okay, to humanity to some sort of way. So, with the solar energy activated through your 10th, 9th, and 10th houses of Gemini, okay, truth can become a very strong and potent thing for those who are related to Gemini, for yours truly. And from this, there's something that you can benefit in terms of your relations to others, the sort of emotional capacities of unconditional nature to others that is highlighted through Mercury's energy in Taurus in retrograde. Okay, what does this mean? It means that there is a system of thinking, a philosophy in which you can intellectually sort of compartmentalize the energy of Taurus, which is dealing with values, the systems of values, the intellectual capacity of values when it comes to others. And you can essentially bring light by humbling these other people, okay? By humbling also the sort of delusion or the veil when it comes to times of war, the expansion of war, Mars, and Jupiter in Aries, okay, and the relation of unconditional quality, the healing aspect of the 12th house as well as your 7th house, okay, meaning that there's something about you that can heal others in some sort of way, or there may be an emotional block in which you cannot heal them because they are out of reach, they are in some sort of other space, okay, of themselves that are completely independent of your own, in which you may feel the need to nurture these people in some sort of way, a karmic energy to nurture them through the energy of Moon and Lilith in the 10th house. Okay, one thing to do that you could do is essentially bless these others by appreciating something of the energy of what I would call in these readings for the month of June, the sacrificial bull. Okay, that is the energy of Taurus, in which Mercury retrograde in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, the dragon's head or the North Node in Taurus, activates the axis of fixity with Scorpio. So Taurus, Scorpio. This has to do with, essentially, this axis has to do with what spins around our own values, our own value systems, and our own resources, deep resources, through the energy of Scorpio, and how these can be sort of collectively transformed in some sort of way, sublimated in some sort of way, okay? Meaning that your role as a priest or a student or a messenger of the gods can essentially bring forward the Hierophant, and you can talk to, essentially them, learn from them, something about the higher mind, okay? That is the 9th house. Something that you may desire is to transform or sublimate what can be, sort of termed or deemed to be a value system, okay? in terms of commerce, in terms of business, but also in terms of the link between the material realm and the spiritual realm. Okay, and this is intense because it has to do with shared collective resources, shared money's economic or ecological systems of wealth, okay, that are going through transformation that you can also support in some sort of way, if not by dealing with other people or other relations, and dealing with their own sort of violent tendencies to bring forward some sort of change through war or through conflict, then at least embrace others through a sort of collective change that has to do with the truth that emerges through the sublimation of the world, okay, of this new sort of sacrifice, and to bring fertility through the golden calf or the raging bull, to sacrifice that bull in order to find what truly resonates in terms of the insights that you may have been learning, in terms of your own karmas, your own sort of career paths, your outer world, and to bring light into all of this, and to essentially bring some sort of purification or fertility right into places of change, places of violence, places of action, and moving those into more intellectual capacities. What does this point to? It points to an ultimate relation of yourself in terms of others, in terms of a karmic nature of your inner world that is becoming outer, that is sort of, trying to be sort of reconciled with warlike people or other people who are looking for a type of truth, okay, that has been deeply sought out during Mercury retrograde in Taurus, okay. There's a great deal of stagnation and complacency, slowness of mind, that relates to this sort of restructuring or this revaluing, this recycling of newness, of fertility that Taurus so dearly is in starvation for right now. One way to see this is to activate the South Node to understand that there are karmas that are tied to conflict and resolution, also acts of violence and sacrifice that is tied to the energy of Scorpio in your third house. Okay? What does this mean? It means that there are friends in a past life or a voice in a past life that is trying to be sort of elicited in some sort of way, that is being reanimated through the death and rebirth sequence of a past life. Okay, that's the third house, South Node in Scorpio, pushing forward into a truth or at least a higher way to educate or to philosophize with others about this sort of karma that needs to be woken up, okay, that brings forward others so that they can understand a bit more on emotional capacities, okay. The thing is that both of you, that is you yourself, your own inner world, and others, they're not sort of reaching eye to eye, because there's a sort of emotional disconnect, and you have to deal with karmas, especially pent up energies of Lilith conjunct the moon, okay, violent sort of tendencies, or the need for the inner divine feminine that is also warlike in nature, that needs to come out and meet others halfway, okay. It's difficult. It's difficult because these people are trying to expand in such a way to understand their own faith, their self-important faith, and their self-important philosophies that comes into direct conflict with everyone in general. There is a violent tendency here that needs to be focused onto the sacrifice of the bull in order for there to be fertility in the end of the day. One of the best things for you to do right now is to reach into the inner child and to reach into sort of structures that have to do with your own upbringing, especially post-formative years or in the middle of formative years, to understand that this child needs to be taught some great lesson that is slowly emerging itself in terms of a philosophy that it has to do with the realm of sacrifice that we are collectively understanding. So that's the best I can do in terms of an intellectual capacity to understand this. The best thing to do would look to the ninth house in terms of dharma, in terms of truth, and understand that there are things that are coming to light that have to do with desires that are being brought about in terms of fixed ways to transmute collective energies. Okay, that is having to do with collective karmas and also collective value systems that is coming about through the chaotic realm of the world we live in. Oh, that is the best I can do. Okay, wishing you well, my dear Virgo. Thank you. Bye-bye.